Hey guys, welcome back to Alex Goes Coconuts. Today I wanted to go over what you'll need to bring to the parks at Universal Studios in Orlando. Now, I already did a video of what to bring to the Walt Disney World parks, and Universal Studios is a little bit different just because they have a different policy than Disney on what you can carry on rides. So at Walt Disney World, you can carry pretty much any bag with you on the ride. Universal Studios has certain rides that you can't carry anything with you, and this is true for most of the thrill rides. Now, Universal does have lockers that you can store your stuff during the ride, but these lockers are quite small and narrow, so you won't be able to fit like a large backpack in that. So how their lockers work is that they have all-day lockers available for $10 a day. Now you can totally, if you want to bring a backpack and you know you're going to have a lot of stuff to carry for the whole family, you can totally do that and rent yourself an all-day locker. But those lockers are mostly at the front of the park, and you will have to walk all the way to the front of the park to access what you need throughout the day, which kind of sucks. Now, for the rides that don't allow you to bring your bag onto the rides, they do have free lockers available. But the thing is about those lockers is that they're quite small. They're small and they're narrow and long. So I think I have the size here. It's 11.5 by 5.5 by 16.5 inches deep. So as you can see, they're quite small, and you won't be able to fit a regular backpack into that. And also, those lockers are only available for the duration of the ride. Now, it does take into account the wait time listed. So if the wait time for the ride is 120 minutes, it will give you 120 minutes plus the ride time plus a little extra time over. But you cannot use those lockers as an all-day locker because they will start charging you after that time. I think it's $3 for every half hour that you go over. So it can get quite expensive if you leave your stuff in that little locker. They do have larger lockers if you do have a backpack, but they charge for the larger lockers. I think it's $3 for an hour. But every time you ride, you gotta pay another $3. So honestly, it's not worth bringing a larger backpack to Universal for the day. So the first thing on my list of what to bring at Universal Studios for the day is definitely a smaller bag like this. This is what my husband carried during our last trip at Universal. And this is a small hiking day bag, and it was the perfect size for those smaller lockers. And we were able to store quite a lot of things in this without having to rent those bigger lockers. Now, my husband carried this day bag, and I decided to carry a little purse like this for easy access to my own things. So either a purse or a small day bag, and that will fit just perfectly in those small lockers. The next thing you're gonna need to go to the parks is actually your park tickets. Now, you will need park tickets to get into the park, but you're also going to need these tickets to rent those lockers that I was telling you about, the free lockers for the rides. And for every person who has a ticket, you will get access to a locker. So if you're 4 people in your party, you will get 4 lockers, so 1 locker each, using your park tickets to unlock those lockers. Now, if you're staying on property, you're also going to need your room key. Your room key doubles up as your express pass if you're staying at one of those premium hotels. I think the premium hotels are Hard Rock, Royal Pacific, and Portofino's. If you're staying at one of those 3, you will get a free express pass, which gives you front of the line access. Now, if you're staying on property but you don't have express pass, you still will need your room key to get early park admission. The next thing on my list would be some ID. There's alcohol pretty much readily available throughout the parks, but if you are close to 21 years of age, they will card you everywhere you go. So if you do want to drink inside the parks, make sure you have some ID on you. You're also going to want to carry a couple of credit cards and definitely have some cash on you. So the next thing on the list is actually a phone. You want to bring your phone and download the Universal app. The app will give you access to most of the ride wait times, the show hours. It will also give you dining options all over the Universal properties. And it will also give you interactive maps. So it's a really great app. I used it a lot, especially for those ride wait times. So when I would exit a ride, I would check the wait times of the rides I wanted to go on. And if they were way too long, I would just skip it and go to another ride that had a lower wait time. Phones are also great because they double up as a camera and as a video camera. I do suggest that if your phone dies really quickly, you should bring something to charge your phone with. Just because there's nowhere to charge your phone inside the parks. You can rent like one of those, charging sticks, but they charge for that. So just go ahead and bring your own if your phone does end up dying on you very easily. Now, the next thing I suggest is actually to bring a Ziplock or some kind of protection for your phone and your electronics. Universal has some water rides that are like they soak you to the bone. They do not offer lockers for most of the water rides, so you will have to bring your backpacks or your bags with you on the ride. So you want to make sure that you have some kind of water protection, something to protect your electronics from getting splashed. You definitely want to have a couple of rain ponchos on you for those unexpected rain showers. I can't tell you how many times I've been caught in the parks and it started to rain on us. So these are great for rain, but they're also great if you want to do a water ride and you don't want to be soaked to the bone. So this is good to have on you. And you can also use these to cover up like a stroller in case you forgot your rain cover for your stroller. So rain ponchos are always like practical to have. Very, very important. The next thing on my list is a must. You definitely have to bring some sunscreen. Florida's sun is crazy hot and you will burn so easily, and sometimes you don't even realize you're burning and you get back to the hotel and you're totally roasted. So sunscreen, I suggest a full bottle of sunscreen. Now I like this one, it's called ThinkSport. It's an all natural sunscreen. I actually have a video on all natural sunscreen, so if you want to go ahead and watch that one, it's pretty good and it'll tell you my favorite all natural sunscreens. And I also like to carry a sun stick. Now this is much easier for application. It just allows you, it's like almost like a deodorant bar, but it has sunscreen. So it just makes it a lot easier to apply onto the face. So this is great when you have children. So sunscreen is a must. You also want to bring some sunglasses to protect your eyes from the sun. I do suggest you bring a cheap pair of sunglasses because I actually lost one on a ride and that kind of sucks. So you definitely don't want to bring your Ray-Bans or something expensive on the ride with you and then you lose them. Another thing you might want to bring is a hat or a ball cap like this. This is great because it'll protect the top of your head and it will prevent you from overheating. Especially if you have kids, I do suggest you bring hats for them. It can get really, really hot under the Florida sun. Another really important thing you want to bring inside the parks with you is definitely a water bottle that you can refill once you get to the park. It gets really hot in the Florida sun, and like I said, you can get heat stroke quite easily, so you want to stay hydrated throughout the day. They have water fountains almost everywhere, and you can get free ice water at any food stand or any drink stand. Another great thing to bring in the parks is definitely a couple of snacks just to hold you off between meals. Theme park food is really expensive and it can add up really, really quickly, and by the end of the day you already spent $100 just on snacks and drinks. So, a couple of snacks for the kids or for yourself and some fresh fruit is gonna go a long way in those parks. I also suggest you bring a little pill bottle like this and you fill it with medication that you might need if you start feeling ill at the park. I usually bring some anti-nausea medication in case one of the rides makes me feel sick. It's also great to bring some painkillers just in case you start getting a headache or you start not feeling well. You want the medication on hand with you so that you can take it right away once you do start feeling ill. I also like to carry these little wipes on me in case I get a stain while I'm eating in the parks. So, these stain removers are really great. This is the Shout Wipe and Go, and they're basically a little wipe with some detergent in it, so that while you're, washing away the stain, it really does soak in and get rid of that stain. Now, most of the rides are air conditioned and the restaurants too, so it's always good to have something to cover up with. I like to bring a super lightweight cardigan if it's a warm day. And what's great about this is I can scrunch it up and it fits into my bag really, really easily. If it is colder and you have to wear a sweatshirt or something like that, just make sure it's something you can tie around your waist, because you won't be able to put it in your smaller bags. Okay, the last thing on my list is actually not a necessity. It's just something you might want to do if you have children. My kids are huge Harry Potter fans, so what I did is I actually ordered these robes on Amazon for my children, and it came with a really great Gryffindor tie. They were able to dress up at the parks, and it was really, really fun for them to, pretend like they were little wizards going around and casting spells. As you can see in the pictures, they really, really enjoyed wearing the robes. They got a lot of attention because of the robes. They got special treatments from people who were working there. So it's definitely something you might want to consider. A lot of adults dress up too. I actually just wore this cool little t-shirt that I bought myself at Walmart. So, it's fun to dress up and get into the spirit of the whole, Harry Potter world. You definitely want to buy the stuff before you get there, because it can get quite expensive. I think a robe like this over there was $120 US, and I think the tie was like $50. I paid the robe and the tie $35 Canadian, so it was really a great deal to do it way before I arrived at Universal. Okay guys, so that's the end of my video. That's what I ended up bringing to the Universal parks. Let me know if I forgot anything, or if you have any other suggestions that I might not have mentioned in this video. Don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell for more videos like this one. Bye!